everyone. I'm Meghna, founder of Let's Curate, a curator platform that celebrates and empowers independent makers from around the world. Welcome to another episode of our webcast series that focuses on all aspects of the creative process. Today, we're doing a showcase from our limited edition initiative. And as you know, pieces from this initiative are very special because they're exclusive just for our platform and our Let's Curate community and fan base. Our guest today is Zuzana Hill, a mixed media illustrator who specializes in creating luminous images that tie in with her passion for symbolism. She has created a custom painting for us, which of course I'll show you during the course of the webcast. But before we begin, Zuzana, a big welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about, symbolism and everything going on with the piece.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in.
Okay.
What about symbolism is so crucial for your work in, mixed media when you're kind of thinking of a concept?
Well, symbolism in itself really excites me, and so it's a kind of a kind of universal language nested in a tradition. So a tradition, I use the tradition of Christianity to form my symbolic language, but all different kinds of religions have their own symbolic language, and you do have some overlap. So what really helps me with this symbolic language is that I don't have to rely on my own subjectivity to in my creative process. I get to borrow from a tradition in order to form what I'm thinking about.
So, I'll show this amazing piece that you've created for us. And I'm a layperson when it comes to art. I've not been to, I'm not a painter, I'm not an artist, but I'm just so fascinated. And the thing that struck me about the piece, which, when we show our viewers, I think it'll strike them too, is a strange mix of geometry, which, for like a type A person like me, that was heavenly to look at, I have to say. The symmetry and the way you position, the way you kind of thought that. But I kind of got a sense of a kind of like tongue-in-cheek, a little bit of punk thrown in.
Yeah.
Did I interpret it the right way? And is there any one you kind of attribute this kind of angle to for your piece?
So the way that you mentioned the geometric style being very appealing to you, being very appealing to maybe a type A personality, is because I try to use that geometric style in order to kind of simplify things so the viewer maybe can read it intuitively or read it if they have a formal understanding of symbolic language. So I think that everybody has an intuitive understanding of it because all cultures kind of are birthed through tradition, whether it's, a Western Christian tradition or an Eastern Hindu tradition or a Chinese Buddhist tradition. Everybody has that kind of ingrained in them. As far as the punk style goes, I grew up kind of listening to alternative music. I really like Patti Smith and Bob Dylan and stuff like that. I kind of just really try to inform my work with that punk state of mind, at least how I try to define it, which is always kind of trying to rebel against the dominant culture. And symbolism is for sure a kind of rebellion against the modern culture because it's looking at things through a symbolic lens rather than a materialistic or scientific lens. And although I did use some scientific research to inform this particular image when it comes to the symbolism of the moth.
That's interesting because you're kind of going back, but you're using influences that have kind of, I guess, shaped you. So it's kind of strange how people approach their work because you've taken bits and pieces from everything and then these two things stand out. And I'm happy that when I look at that, I interpreted it almost the same way, maybe not exactly the same way that you did, but when I look at it and when you're talking about it, I get I get the feeling or the emotion that went behind at least the conceptual part of it. Without much ado, I do have to show everyone this piece because this is just so exquisite. Oh my God. This is amazing. Can you please tell us about what went behind this piece? You've told us about your overall vision for your work, but this particular piece, if you can shed some light on the materials used, and anything else that's interesting that for you that kind of drove you to make this. And I'm going to keep this up here so that people can take a look while you're discussing this.
So I kind of use the process of oil painting, like traditional oil painting, but instead I use like eyeshadow powder and glitter polish.
Oh, wow.
And at first it was just experimental. Like I just wanted to be like sustainable, and I wanted to use what I had that I probably wasn't going to use on my face, and I didn't want to throw it out, you know, because during this time, you know, we're not going out as much, and I thought, just why not? Right. And I was just really interested in how beautiful it came out in the sunlight. Yeah. This particular one I'm working on right now, which is like, you could sort of see in the sunlight a little bit.
Wow.
But yeah, I was just really fascinated by the luminosity of the image, and I felt like that sort of connected to iconography, like Christian Orthodox iconography, which has the gold leaf within it, and that's sort of symbolic for the you know, divine light and like, you know, uniting meaning with material. You know, when you get the oil, let's say on your forehead, it's supposed to reflect light and therefore reflect, you know, meaning.
Right. Beautiful. And then how long did this take from the time you thought of it till you actually were, and at what time, at what point, you know, this is a question I always feel like asking every artist, at what point do you step back and say, this is ready, I'm done, it's finished? I just cannot imagine how it's, you know that this is the end point and now you just have to stop. That's always been a question that kind of is like a burning question for me, especially when it comes to painters.
Oh yeah, it took longer than I expected. Well, actually, when I was doing it, we actually had a huge derecho in Iowa, so we lost all our power.
Okay.
So I had to sort of, like, that chaos was kind of around me, but I kind of tried to you know, like, integrate like that meditative process with having no electricity and no light and just like being outside and like painting it. And it took me so long to come up with the concept. Like, I was looking up Dante's Purgatorio, I was looking up Symbolism of Fire, I was looking up like passages about moss in the Bible. Like, I was just thinking of so many things. And then finally, when I had to paint it, I was color testing, I was painting over it. Like, it took so long, but I was so happy during the process when it came out just the way I wanted.
I know it's pain, but it's pleasurable pain, as they say.
It's the birth pangs of art that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can imagine without being a painter, I know exactly how you feel, because it's you're struggling, you appreciate the struggle, you live in the moment, and then when it's done, you kind of step back and you're like, wait, it's done now. You know,
exactly.
it's over.
Yeah, you know exactly how it feels. Yeah.
So, Susanna, tell me, what is your hope with, do you think this is the way you want to express your voice? Is this, I know mixed media is your thing. Do you have a particular vision for the future? Is there some message that you want to kind of relate through your work? Or is it just something that catches your fancy and you just want to kind of discover yourself as you go along on this journey?
Well, I just want to get better at what I do, and I want to understand patterns and see that there is honestly just so much meaning in our lives, and that I just would love for other people to have access to that way of looking at reality that tends to go unnoticed when we're only looking at things through, let's say, a materialistic way or like a scientific way, which is scientific is fine, but we need to be able to understand phenomena. We need to be able to understand what a tree means or what it symbolizes. I kind of just want to get back to the root of things. Mm-hmm. That's my goal. And I just want to create amazing work because it makes me feel alive.
That's amazing. I think that's all anyone needs in life, to just kind of feel that, and, you know, not just kind of live because you're supposed to kind of live your life and just do the things because you're meant to do it. It's because it actually makes you feel something. Yeah. And this piece, definitely, without a doubt, I have so much confidence. really is such a moving piece. Thank you so much, Susanna. As I want to remind everyone, this is exclusively available under our limited edition collection on our website, letscurate.com. We will also be posting this webcast on our YouTube channel and of course promoting it across all social media channels. For more updates, please don't forget to follow us on Instagram at lets_curate. Susanna, a big thank you once again for joining us and for creating this magic, which whoever buys this is really, they're taking a very special piece with them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.